Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? So, like I said, I'm gonna do Wednesdays. I'm gonna do Oracle Wednesday guidance cards pulling. So, welcome, and I'm gonna wait a little bit to see who is joining, who's jumping on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull a card for the collective for the next week, just to see what we need to be aware of, where we can kind of like look into, where we can soften up, where we can maybe let go of things as well. And what I really like about these cards is it's basically they just give us a guidance. They give us an insight. And obviously they're not foretelling the future. It's more a disruption. So it's a disruption of your thinking process, especially if you're battling with a decision, if you don't know whether or not to take this job or the other job because you have two job offers, or whether or not a person that just came into your life is the right one for you, or maybe there was a quarrel with a family member and you don't really know whether or not to reach out or to wait. So especially if there's a fight between the brain and the heart, these cards, they are like a disruptor because they allow us to just for a moment like, oh, wait a second, there's something from outside coming in. Let me have a look at the card, and yeah, actually this makes sense. They allow us as well to look at things from a different point of view, from a different angle. And for the ones that definitely resonates with me, oftentimes there is an answer to a question that I have that I don't want to look at. So these cards oftentimes as well tell us like, well, you know the answer. You just have been ignoring it. You have been avoiding looking at it. So look at it now because you know already. I'm like, okay, cool. So if you have a question yourself in regards to a certain part of your life, an area of the life, finances, family, love, whatever, let me know. I'm happy to pull a card for you as well. If not, I just gonna pull a card for the collective, like I said. And these are the cards that I'm using. Let me just see if I can... No, next time I'm gonna have a look how I can do this so it's not reflected for you. So it's Angel Tarot cards from Doreen Virtue. They're very beautiful. They're more from the magical realm. There's dolphins, unicorns, dragons, and fairies as well. And yeah, so let's get started. So let me just connect with the cards and just ask, what do we as a collective need to know for this coming week? Okay, two cards actually fell out. So hi everybody. Hi, Claudio joined. Thank you for watching. And look, I actually got two cards. They're beautiful cards. One is the Knight of Fire, and the other one is the Page of Earth. So just to give you an insight, the fire is all about our ideas, inspiration, desires. It has a lot to do with career and passion. So this is the Knight of Fire. So you have a little, you have someone riding on a horse. And it says, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. So, hi Roger as well. Thank you for joining. So we have on one side that part. Let me just have a look at the other cards. So then kind of like to see what would be the reading for the next week, what we need to know. The other one is the Page of Earth. It's a beautiful fairy, very colorful. I will post it later on in the comments as well, the pictures if I can. Let me see. So Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. The Earth is all about the material world. It all has to do with the money, with work, home situation. And it says, good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. So I feel this is like very broad. So definitely there's something for everybody in there, because it says on one side, there's something coming up suddenly, but at the same time that you have to take your time to think it through carefully. So it's not about something's coming up and you just take an action, you just react. It's more about something is coming up this week and you're being asked to like, okay, even though this is coming up, even usually I'm actually just responding to whatever's happening from outside, whichever curveball life is throwing at me. This card actually tells you, even though it's something that you're very passionate about, even though it might be, it has to do with a project or your work, it tells you like, hey, I know this is super dear and close to your heart, but take your time. It might be something that you have not really see coming. It might be that suddenly maybe someone comes up and says, like, hey, actually, I'm not happy with this. And you really thought that that person might actually support you. And suddenly you have to, or maybe that a fund is being withdrawn, that a door that you expected to be and stay open is being closed. So it's kind of something that kind of like throws you off the chair, but it tells you, pause, hold in for a moment, hold in. I would say close your eyes, take a few deep breaths just to come back into center, and then say like, okay, what can I do now? So that you really can come from a place of power, from a place of integrity, and from a place of power, strong will comes up. So instead of just reacting, you actually take your time to think about it, and then you respond to it. And you respond to it in the best manner possible, with the best outcome in mind possible as well. And then that's actually where the power lies, because if you just respond, a lot of times automatic patterns can happen, automatic responses happen. So you might just act the same way as you usually do, but you say like, wait a second, you know already this is a bit childish, this is a bit overreacting, this is a bit stubborn. So this card asks you to just take a pause and think about it, to react differently. And then if you want to combine the Page of Earth with it, it says, like, I read it again, good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. I mean, in a way, if you combine the two cards, it can also be that you get, in a way, like a positive information that you didn't expect, that kind of like also puts you out of, kind of like off your chair, like saying, oh my gosh, I didn't expect that. What do I do with this? Okay, yes, no. Maybe you usually tend to say no if someone comes and wants to support you. But this card actually said, wait a second, you actually are receiving some support, and it is inviting you to really step into that, what you have envisioned, because it does say wanting to do something more challenging. So maybe it's something, like I said before, that you're very passionate about, a project that you're really passionate about, but that you don't really know whether or not to do it. And suddenly you get this situation, this opportunity presented, where you usually say like, oh, no, I'm not doing that, I'm not ready yet. But then actually this card tells you like, wait a second, yes, do this. You do, and deep down in your heart, you want to do this. You want to challenge yourself, and you want to do this new project, go down a different path. So the cards invite you to actually do it. And it can be something, like I said, oh, no, I want to do this, I'm not ready yet, because it can be something that is a bit outside of your comfort zone. Maybe it has to do something with an area that you're interested in, like privately, but that on a professional basis, you haven't really dug into it so much. So you feel like, oh no, I don't have the accreditation. I haven't studied it and I don't know much about it, but if you're really honest with yourself, you will probably have much more knowledge than you just give yourself credit for. So yeah, interesting cards, definitely. Definitely, because combining the second card actually kind of like comes more in that something beautiful, positive actually comes towards you, which is unexpected, especially if you have been caught in this cycle of worrying a lot. And then this unexpected support comes, which touches one of your deepest desires and something, a field that you're very passionate about. And the other card just says, go for it. Because, yeah, you have the support, you have the financial support. If financial support is a requisite for it. And at the same time, it is a new field that you have been dreaming of, but haven't really ventured out for. So yeah, hope this resonates. If anyone of the ones watching, if you have a question, I'm happy to also pull a card for you, specifically for the topic that kind of like is very dominant in your life right now, or would you like to get some insight, some guidance, because you have been thinking back and forth about it. So just let me know, just drop it in the comments below. And again, this is a card, this is a pulling for the collective, which means it might be that everything resonates. It might be as well that just part or nothing resonates with you. So whatever it is, take it for what it is. If it happens that none of these cards resonate with you, that's totally fine, because that basically means that whatever is happening right now doesn't really have to do with you right now. There's nothing really at this moment that you need to be concerned of. Or it can also just be like, hey, it's just reconfirming what you are already doing and thinking anyhow. So yeah. Anything else? And as well, even though I've been kind of like saying, because that's just what came to me, I've been talking about a project that you want to do, but if you feel these cards talk to you about a different area, maybe it's more about a relationship, it's more about, maybe if you feel like, oh, actually it has to do with health, for your personal interpretation, just go for it as well. Yeah, so you know better what these cards represent for you. And I will just hold them one more time into the camera so you can have a look at them. So this is someone riding the knight on the horse. So lots of yellow and orange and red in it. So very powerful fire. What's putting you on fire? What's lighting you up? And the other one is a bit calmer, earth. Fairy with a lot of colors. Very gentle and soft energy. But also you see a lot of flowers. So for me, the flowers, especially with the financial support, flowers is all about abundance. So there's so many, if you go out in nature, especially right now here in Spain or Mallorca, I already saw there's some of the fields already, yellow flowers are coming up and there are just so many, just like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna end this here. If no one has a question, you can also always contact me in private. Happy to do a pull for you there as well. If you like to be a little bit more anonymous, that's perfectly fine. And I'm gonna post this video on IGTV later on as well, so you can re-look at it, re-listen to it. And thank you so much for joining. And if ever you're watching it on the replay, and just say hi there as well, so I know that you've been jumping on later on. You're very welcome. And I wish you all a wonderful afternoon. See you.